So I was coming back from the wedding of two friends of mine. As we got out of the cab, we saw a biker, a cyclist, I should say, not a biker. And he looked visibly shaken. There was a police car a few meters away from him. We asked him, hey, is everything okay? Are you okay? And he said, I've been ostensibly stopped for not having the right lights on my bike, but I think it's because I'm wearing the carré rouge. As Constable Trudeau came,
Stéphanie
approached
Trudeau,
him,
badge 728,
approached him and gave him the ticket and said, tiens-toi ton carré rouge. My girlfriend at that point said, what is the relationship between the red square and the ticket? She said, dégage, and he said, listen, we're just here as witnesses. We don't mean to interfere at all. And she said, witnesses to what? And she said, the incident has already happened. And I said, no, we're here to witness in case he needs to contest his ticket. And then at this point, she threw me down on the ground, took me, threw me down, handcuffed me, her and her partner.
Just without any warning?
No, so what she had said, when I said we were witnesses, she said, I can arrest you at any time. Right. And they both picked me up and threw me into the car. And they drove off. Then they asked for my information, and I said, when you tell me why I'm here, then I'll give you my information. And at that moment, Officer Trudeau, 728, said, fine, we'll teach you a lesson. We'll take you to the end of the island and drop you off in the middle of nowhere, and then we'll see. And I was like, okay. After her warning, they talked amongst themselves, closed the divider, and then out of nowhere she started to speed up as quickly as she could. I didn't know what was going on, and slamming on the brakes. So they kept driving as fast as they can, slamming on the brakes so that my face would, because I was handcuffed, would slam against the divider. So they handcuffed,
you were in there and basically stopping on the brakes, and then what would happen? You would
slam my face.
Your face slammed against
the thing, so that my face was bruised. And in my wallet, I didn't have ID, but I had my credit card with my first name and last name, Julian Menezes. Mm-hmm. And the officer said, Menezes, is that a Portuguese last name? And before I could answer, Officer Trudeau said, no, he's an effing Indian. And so you wonder, maybe she also calls up her supervisor and says, oh, we arrested a fucking Indian, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, this type of profiling is clearly not against the regulations, mm-hmm. right? And then they stopped in a parking lot, and they told me there's a police station somewhere in the distance. We can either take you there and arrest you, or we can give you a ticket. And I said, okay, what are you going to arrest me for? And Officer Trudeau said, we're going to arrest you for being drunk. You said you were drunk. And I said, I never did say that. And then she said, well, just as another way of convincing me, actually, you know what, you're a skinny bitch. You'll get fucked in the ass in prison.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So I stood on my word and gave them my information. They gave me a ticket, asked me if I had any money on me. First of all, I didn't know why they're asking me that. But I didn't. I said, no, I don't have any money. And they said, okay, you're going to have to walk home from here.
Okay.
And they thought that was pretty funny.
So you're in a parking lot, they give you this ticket. What's the ticket for?
In continuing to do a forbidden act after an officer of the peace has asked you to stop that forbidden act.
And what was the forbidden act?
That we don't know.
Okay.
I hope that something good will come out of this. Otherwise, it's all for naught, mm-hmm. right? Otherwise, all of these horrible acts mm-hmm. amount to nothing. Mm-hmm. And at least we can salvage something mm-hmm. if there's an investigation into these practices by the police force.
And into your case.
And into my case.
Of being assaulted.
Right. And we start thinking about not just as Officer Trudeau as this rogue cop who's gone off book, who we can cut off as a scapegoat, as right. the one who, who's making the police look bad. And we can look at the situation of you know, how as a society have we let this happen? How have we gotten to the point that this happens on a regular day basis?